welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And, well, today we have the Blindsided, uh, what is it? The Blindsided Challenge number 6. It is pattern 50723. This is the one where I thought it looked like red pandas, um, when it was just in its pattern form. So what I did was I actually pulled a picture of red pandas up and tried to actually match the colors closer to it than what the pattern actually called for. So I was really kind of leaned in on it. Um, so this pattern, I never fully got the feel like this is the way to do it. There wasn't do this, then do this, do this. The whole time it kind of felt um like I was just trying to not make mistakes, I guess that's the easiest way to describe it. Um it's super complicated. There's a lot of zigzags going on. Um it's hard to keep track of where you are and what needs to happen next. Um it was by all rights, a very, very challenging bracelet to make. Um, I do like how it starts out. I think that's pretty cool. Hang on. It was getting super warm in the office here. I need to turn on the air conditioner. Oh, I got a drink. I like how it started out. That was cool. Like having the the white space or whatever to it. That was totally cool. I was really kind of glad I did that. Um, the the colors, could I have done better? I don't see. I don't know. I really was trying to go with the whole panda thing, right? Um, I don't know. I'm really kind of torn on that one. Um, it turned out cool. It turned out cool. I asked the wife without giving her any clues or anything else what she thought of it, and she held it up and just kind of gave it a funny look, and then she turned it upside down and was like, "What is that supposed to be, like burgers or something?" And then she turned it the other way. Goes, "Oh wait, no, it's a fox." And I'm like, "Close, red panda." She goes, "Oh, okay, I can see it." So I guess that sort of worked out. But um, when I look at it, I really don't see it as much as of the red panda thing. It looks cool on paper, but it's not. You'll see it as it goes along here. You'll see them as they go. You might have to turn your head sideways, or if you're watching this via your phone, turn your phone sideways to see what they look like. But it seems like I'm pretty much every single time going at this a slightly different way. They all have the same kind of knots and all go in the same basic directions or whatever. But like I said, I never found an approach to it that actually kind of worked out the way that I thought was like, oh, this is the easiest way to go through it. Because I just it wasn't there. Not that I could see it all. Um, Overall, besides being kind of a difficult pattern, I don't know what to say about this. It's again, it is an interesting pattern. It is fun. Somebody went to all the work and trouble to try to come up with something like this. That's really cool. Um, would I ever make this again? No, no, not a chance. Um, I mean, unless somebody like was like, commissioned me or something and said, yeah, they loved it and they really want one or something. But it's it's difficult to make. It doesn't. I don't think it looks like pandas. Oh yeah, you can see I had to like stop there and like kind of count like, okay, back part, see where I am on the pattern and stuff. Yeah. Um, and I suppose there was probably a lot of that. There is probably a lot of trying to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. That whole little, I guess that's his brow area, kind of goes back and forth, and trying to make sure that like I have the right number of knots in that. Um, yeah, that's a bit of a trick. Kind of like the little dot ones at the top, trying to make sure that that ends up in the right number. So yeah, I guess like that's little dot there is supposed to be like the ear area, I guess. Yeah. Um, it was a fun challenge. It was a fun challenge, and it got me kind of wondering if there's other ones where people have tried to do an alpha style thing, but with regular knots. And do they all kind of come out this way, or are there some that are better than others? I am certainly curious. So if you guys know of one where um, a pattern like this goes on, but it turns out really super cool, I'd be really interested in seeing it. Um, yeah, you can see here I'm really struggling, like where to go next with my knots, and you know what's because it's this little like the white gap in between the two pandas, and yeah, you can kind of basically I kind of clipped it up kind of high, but you can kind of see what's supposed to be the panda head, and it's it's not the strings that I used, or it's not the tensions in my knots that's changing it. It's just the fact that sometimes on paper a pattern looks a certain way, but the knots, they're not perfect squares. They're little elongated like bricks, and the graph papers don't really convey that exact sort of look. And because it's just easier when you're designing or whatever to see it in the brick form. And so yeah, um, yeah, it's just different. It's a little. It's still. I mean, it's kind of cute. I mean, if you really like red pandas and stuff, um, and you know what it's meant to be, and you kind of see it in there or whatever, and it makes you happy, then that's awesome. If it makes you happy, it doesn't matter if it looks like the panda or not. If it makes you happy, then that's all the reason for making it. Go for it. The pattern's over on my website. I hooked it up, so yeah, you can make it to your heart's content. Um, and don't let me discourage you just because I'm kind of a little bit bummed at how it came out. That I don't want to necessarily discourage you from trying something different, because for me, trying something different here was kind of cool. I kind of liked the fact that this was a little bit different. I kind of really hoped that it turned into something really neat. I kind of had higher hopes. So yeah. And you can see I'm sort of all over the board. Like this time I'm kind of working more at the top to, getting that part in first and trying to see what's it's just all over the place. I kind of yeah, it wasn't 100%. Yeah, see here I'm counting again. 100% sure like which way would make the most sense, and there wasn't like typically how it works for me, right? Is as I'm going along, I try a way and see, oh no, that's easier to go with this or easier to change here or whatever, and then I just kind of basically run with that um to the end. There was so many, it's so intricate as it goes through. There's so, like I said, so many like zigzags and color going one direction and another, so it can pop up in certain places and whatever, that there was never a decisive, oh, this really should have to go a certain way. um you know Just not. But yeah, I don't I don't think that this one went particularly quick. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it's only like a 12 string bracelet, right? But I think if you judge the time that it took to make this compared to other bracelets in this series of making stuff, um, I do think this one may have actually taken a little bit longer to do. And that really comes down to having to look at the pattern kind of continually, and it just slows things down in general. It just makes it a little bit tougher to do. Um, I think I was also distracted. I was watching the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I had not seen before, which is a good movie. So I was distracted a little bit with that, but I have to rewatch the show because part of my concentration was busy spent with this. So yeah, but I mean, I kind of got the gist of the movie, which was it was really good. Um, and yeah, kind of something different from the other YouTube videos and stuff I typically watch. The whole murder thing and all that those other the decoding the unknowns. I like those. Those are fun. But yeah. So yeah, again, this is a blindsided creation. If you have a suggestion for that, you can send that to me via Instagram or Discord. And all I need is the pattern number, which website the pattern number comes from, I guess, because you could go from either of them, as well as the number of strings. So that way I can at least have the template thing that I use already made up and ready to go when we um, start the video, because it'll just save a lot of time than me trying to figure out which one to use. So yeah, that's it. Um, because I have to admit, I like them. They're kind of fun. You know, they're I never know what I'm getting into. There is there is like with some of these a little bit of like I get a little bit anxious because I feel like part of the whole thing with the Blindside series is the fact that it could be a terribly difficult bracelet to do. Um, so far I haven't ran across anything that was like so bad I couldn't do it or whatever. I guess I'm advanced enough in my bracelet making that I can probably pick up at whatever you throw at me. Um, but that said, it doesn't change the fact that I get a little bit worried in the whole process because that's part of the whole nature of the series, isn't it? So yeah. Is it me or does it seem like maybe I am going a little bit faster? Like this is what, like the third one in. We're kind of like halfway there or whatever, and it does seem like maybe I was kind of getting a better handle on it. It's possible. It's still, I still know for a fact I did not find a specific way to do the whole thing out. Like the whole time I was trying to figure out like what made most sense because I was looking for an easy way. Obviously, I like finding the easier way of doing these things. Um, because yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you want to do it easier? Yeah. And you can see like I have to kind of stop and look at it like, what's next? Because yeah, that not had to go in before this one. And yeah, there's a lot of that going on, like trying to figure out what comes first and how does anything get to where it is like that. that knot had to come before these. So kind of jumping all over the place with it. And I think there, what the big thing was trying to do everything on the right hand side so that way the one row that's kind of a longer row could just be a straight shot at it, which is typically makes things faster. Like if you can do long straight rows, as opposed to doing a little bit and then coming back to it, it does go faster. So like right here, I'm trying to do like the long row there. So like I am actively seeking out paths to simplify the overall work. Um, but like I said, like there, I couldn't find a clear way of getting through it that truly made sense. Because again, there's just so much going on. So yeah, yeah, I'm kind of halfway. I'm not sure if I should put this in the shop or send it to my friend in the U.S. who his whole thing for his shop is something to do with red pandas. I have no idea why. He's a leather crafter and he's got red pandas as part of his whole logo thing, which is sort of cool. So yeah, I've already lost track as to this is the fourth one, I guess. It's one, two, three, four. Yeah, we're getting there. So hey, now's a good time to thank all my Patreon supporters for making this stuff possible. I really couldn't do all these videos and stuff without their help. So thank you very much. And yeah, if you guys haven't already, please like the video. It goes a long way in helping to get Google to put it out there for more people and stuff. So that would be awesome. Yep. This little guy's almost done. It's I kind of like this whole sped up thing and looking at it like this. I kind of like seeing how I went about trying to do it because in my head I know that I didn't find a set path. But watching it and really seeing that emphasized, like how, yep, there's kind of going all over the place. Like this part here, I guess towards the end, I kind of decided I liked the whole starting on the right side and kind of going through it. Um, was that the easiest way to do it? I don't know. It might have been. It seemed to be working. I kind of ran with it. But yeah, it's funny to me. Yeah. So yeah, I think that next week, I think we're going to try doing some way more advanced uh, patterns. I'm really kind of interested in um, doing some bags here, and I think next week I'm going to focus on trying to do some patterns for them. So we have a whole new series for next week. So if the blindsided creations wasn't your thing, then get ready because there's going to be something new and exciting to try out. And yeah, and I don't think that the bags are going to get made like right away or anything because I'm going to have to obviously probably order some string for it, so that might take a little while, and we'll see how things go. But yeah, it's just a new series, something I came up with, and that me and the wife are kind of excited about. And yeah, it'd be kind of good to get some more bags into the shop. It seems to be the thing that people do like. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, this is the last of the pandas. And I think you can kind of tell like I'm really just kind of going at it. I don't There doesn't seem to be a plan to it so much, but I'm kind of just going at it with the knots, trying to get this done. Like the end is in sight, and I just know that I'm it's right around the corner. So yeah, it seems to even be less organized than some of the other ones, possibly just because I'm excited. But yeah, tell me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think these look like little red pandas? I mean, am I just not quite seeing it, and they're more? This is more awesome than I think it is. If so, I want to know because if it is awesome, then maybe I will make more. I don't know. I just don't really see it so much. Yeah, a little pause right there. That was me trying to figure out like, okay, so what do I need to do? Because the end changes, and that's kind of a thing too. So yeah, we are really close to the end now. Yep. And then like so those strings on the left, those are done with, and I'm like working the light colors through their various zigzags and stuff that makes it so that way it ends right. So yeah, pretty neat. So yeah, you guys have any questions, just leave it down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video. I had fun making the video overall. So yeah, yeah. And yeah, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.